well, I'm live at least. Oh, we are live. Can I zoom the camera out? No, as per usual, cannot zoom the camera out. Oh, oh, would be nice. Oh, finally. Not really. As you know, felt the best, not too bad today. Basically in the box room at the old flat, and finally going to go through the finds that I found at Red Robin Bottle Tip 2024. Oh, we've got Mekti here. Mekti's in the small bedroom and she's currently looking at the camera. Uh, to be honest, I mean, it's not that late here in UKGB, and to be honest, the later I go live would be better really, because the majority of followers are always from the US. There may be some that aren't, but you're going to get more viewers if you go live earlier in the morning over here in UKGB, but can't really do that because I need to leave the old flat by at least 11 o'clock at night to go back to the gaff anyway. Gonna finally go through the finds. I've got a little bit of a sore back, not too bad. I don't know what it is, but it's actually not too bad at the moment. I'm supposedly live, but the camera has been held such a way that part of the screen is covered up. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get anyone. I don't know how to. The thing is, I couldn't really designate a specific time for a live stream because not really well enough to mentally to fix a day to do a live. I have to do it on impulse because it depends how I feel, how my concentration is. Yeah. Oh, I don't even know if it says how many are. It doesn't look like we've got anyone as yet, and to be honest, I don't expect anyone because I know you can plan. That's it, to schedule a time to do a live video. But if you schedule to do a live video, you've got to do it at that time. And not only that, you have to be aware of time differences in different countries, especially the US, where the majority of followers seem to be. It's just the way it is. A lot of more people are in the watch from there, so you have to. I mean, I can schedule a live anytime that I feel comfortable with, but it means that I have to have every single factor in line to be able to be here to do it. Anyways, DJ Puff the Third here. or local South London bottle digger. Well, I done all of 2 this year because I started so late in the season. I really did start very late, but then again, it was the first time in about 3 or 4 years that I'd actually been to my local tip. And I think the last time was when the Canadian lady was over, and she likes to do the mudlarking, Canadian mudlark. She came over from Vancouver and visited, and we did meet on the Thames to do a very short mudlark. Went to a pub, and then I took her to the bottle dump, and we dug a hole, and she absolutely loved it. This little lady sitting in the hole, just in her element, never done anything like it before. Mudlarking on the Thames, yes, but never been to a bottle dig before, and made some great finds. And she had a brush with an old jacket of mine that was hanging up, and the arm was full of earwigs. She loved that. Not. Oh boy, yeah, lots of fun. So that was the last time I went to Red Robin Tip. It must have been about 3 or 4 years ago, which is a bit sad, really. But then things have been so complicated. Also, being in secondary woodland, the landscape changed so much, and it's obvious that the footfall around Red Robin really declined. There was certain times when there were literally paths in the woods, and another time when literally local kids and teens made a dirt motorbike or even cycle track, all on the level, maybe 2 or 3 light humps, a sweeping curve with humps for mountain bikes or scramblers, maybe. See, we've got a moth in here, or fly or something. Here comes Mecate. Yeah, here's Mecate. Fermium's at the gaff at the moment with Esma Florine, trying to get her more comfortable with Fermium. I don't think I could do it with Mecate because she's a stray, so I took her in, and she only seems to be friendly with me when Fermium's not here. He's very overbearing to her, and for quite some time now, Mecate has been very hissy and screamy at him, even nearby. She wants him out of the flat, but it's not going to happen. He's staying. Right. So we're in the box room, and we're going to go through what I've found day one at Red Robin Bottle Tip. I don't know if anybody is here. I think I've got one, I'm not sure, but anyway. It's been quite a while since I've been to the bottle dump. We've already got some bottles on top of the unit. Hopefully I'll be able to pick some others up and hold them a bit closer. There won't be an issue with focus. But I've already got some on top of this filing cabinet. Of course, there's nothing incredible, there's nothing amazing here because it's a modern dump. It's 1932, but occasionally it will come up with something special or unusual. But it's the most sought after dumps are late 1800s, 1880, 1890, or just after. And I don't really have any access to anything like that. I have one, and I can't even access that anymore now because time has passed and the landscape has changed, and just trees and brambles and just collapses. You'll be surprised that when you're 6'3" and you've not got the best balance, you try to go somewhere and these shrubs and trees, they fall over. They're all horizontal, and you've got dead wood and the growth. And I went to my Victorian dump. Yeah, she's only 2 foot, and I couldn't even tell where the hell I was. It got to that point where I knew in the vicinity where my original hole was, but there's no way I could tell where it was because everything had changed. All the trees that have fallen down had changed the landscape completely. So no, I just the one Victorian late 1800s tip that I have, I don't really have the energy to go over there hacking branches, big branches, loppers. It's just everything is just so much work for me. Maybe a few years ago, 5, 6 years ago, or near the time when I first started digging, 2014, 10 years, but I may have had more energy then, but things have changed now. But I thought I definitely got to make an effort and give some digging a go, so it had to be my local Red Robin. Anyway, what have we got in the first video? You will have seen the Superity on the surface. I picked up a Superity bottle. Now I've already got one of these. I'm not exactly sure what was in it. It has a screw top head. Screw top. I've already got one of these. I found one of these before, so this is the second one now. It's machine made, as far as I know. There is a scar on the bottom, and it's UGB, United Glass Bottles, as far as I can tell. But it's a bit wobbly and rough underneath. But Superity bottle, it's nice. It's moulded. Would have had 1, 2 labels on it. I've yet to look it up again. The other side is a little star. Superity, Superity. I'm not entirely sure what was in it. I should imagine it was a mineral water or a juice. I'm pretty sure I tried to look it up online and I didn't find much at the time. Then I can try again, but the result may be the same. If I don't know what it is now, I was probably unsuccessful at finding out what it contained. But the bottle itself is a lovely mould, and it's got leaves all around the base, plus 2 bigger leaves. Yes, it is a screw top. It may be possible to find a lid for it, but it will be a modern one. There's no point really. I mean, anyway. The Superity bottle. And it's much the same the other side. But it's got a very nice textured feel to it, that moulding. And this was just on the surface. I think that where I'd done a previous dig and filled it back in, the foxes had literally got in, they'd tunnelled in, and then managed to find a little bit of ash that had been touched, and they kicked it out. They literally dragged it out the hole, or dug it out again. So it is literally in the ditch in the first video, this Superity bottle. And it's a good score because it's lovely. It's a lovely shape and a lovely mould on that. Very nice mould. Doesn't look like there's anyone here at the moment, but then again, you'd have to, again, I can't think of, I already mentioned it earlier, but I can't think of it offhand, designate a time for a stream, because I put the community picture up, must have been about 2 weeks ago, saying that I was going to do this live stream at some point, and I just haven't got round to it. I haven't felt up to it until now. Thoughts just aren't really coming at the moment. Schedule, it takes quite a bit, I'm afraid. Also, in the first dig, found, and bearing in mind this is a 1932 dump, sometimes we do find the cold cream pots, but the majority of the time, being that age, they're not going to have any transfer marking on the lid. You've got to be in a Victorian, late Victorian dump, maybe just after, to get pots with the transfer lids. But it's always nice when you find the base and you find the lid at the same time, which is good. And who knows, you may be able to put something in it, use it again. But to find the base and the lid is always a bonus. As to whether it must be, although the glazes don't look the same. But then again, I've noticed that you might have a piece of something there, and then you'll find the other half or another piece about a metre away, and the conditions a metre away from the first piece have obviously been different. So, like pieces of plate, you'll find a piece of plate and you'll be trying to look for the rest of it. The one piece you have is a lot cleaner, and then the other piece you find will have a lot more crazing on it. It was affected by iron, and it's a bit weird, really. That just meters away, there'll be different conditions underground. But anyway, this is just a basic cold cream. There's no transferring on the top of the lid, sadly. These are always common to find, and they're likely furniture polish, floor polish, blacking for grates, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Both of these still had the corking, found day 1 and day 2, and you can still smell the contents. I should imagine it was polish of some kind, floor polish or furniture polish. Of course, there's no label. There's never a label, but they're always a nice glaze, a very nice glaze. And in the past, I've got quite a few of these, and I found old 1920s, what I think were 1920s water pipe, but they were disjointed sections of water pipe, and I literally made a pyramid of these pipes and shoved one of these in each hole. So pretty much made some kind of mini beast hotel out of them, just with the entrances to these cream glazed polishes. They're very common a lot of the time, even from the 1880s, 1890s. The design doesn't really change on these, to be honest. Not really much at all. But again, nothing really special with these. They do various from white to cream to more of a mustardy colour. You can still hear the corks inside them. It's crazy. But of course, when you take them out the ground, the corks do eventually shrink. Very common then. Always nice to find, but what do you do with them? This was never in the video. And what is it? It's basically a quarter, maybe a bit less, of a grinding wheel. You can see that it's actually a grinding wheel section. I literally had a bag full of grinding stones in the gaff that I used for sharpening all my tools, and for some strange reason they all disappeared. They're in a bag in the kitchen, and somehow the in-gaff cleaner has managed to lose them. But luckily I found this section of a grinding wheel, and you often find stuff like this underground. You find the rest of it, just this little piece. But it means now that at least I have something that I might be able to sharpen my tools again. I didn't have anything this year to sharpen my tools because the bag vanished. I don't know where it went. I don't know whether it's still in the gaff or in one of the two lockups out the back of the gaff, or she simply thought, oh, they're rocks, I'll throw them out. That's probably what the scenario is. She just thought it's a bag of rocks and threw them all out. So then I go without my millstone grit and other sharpening stones. But luckily, during the first dig at Red Robin, I managed to find another section of grinding wheel. And I've found one before. I found a grinding wheel before, but it wasn't like this. In fact, I'm not really sure where it is at the moment, but it was a complete one. I don't know if anybody's commenting because it's not coming up at all. There's no comments coming up at all, so. But then I can't be asked. I just start the live up and then do it. Basically, it's too complicated for me. But thankfully, I can start sharpening some of my tools again with this. One of my favourite finds at the bottle dumps, however basic and it is and less than interesting, my favourite finds are actually terracotta plant pots. And me being a gardener, it makes sense really. And I have put small cactuses in pots, and they can be used again. And the first dig one, there must, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there must have been more. There must have been at least 13, but they're spread around. But these are the ones that were complete. Some do have cracks in. That one's got a bit of a crack in. But they are, what I love about the old plant pots you dig up, they are just so rough, so handmade in appearance, and you got all the little bits the stainings in the ground, the iron and all the other calcareous build-ups on the pot, and they just look so good and so tactile, and various sizes, and they pretty much all look different. Or maybe a thumbprint, there's a rub of a thumbprint there. Or here you can see that this one had been a bit rough with the finger, and it's a bit pushed in, and the finger's been rubbed outwards, you know, the imperfections, and there's a rim around that. I've always loved finding flower pots, and they're all completely different. Again, you can see all the little bits that are stuck to it, and inside as well. Just love flower pots. And another one that has got a bit of a crack in it. Again, we're slowly getting bigger and bigger. You can only wash them so much, to be honest. I don't really have the energy to scrub it and scrub it and scrub it, get all this stuff off, to be honest. This one has got a bit of a crack in it, and there's tiny little flinty pieces in here, white tiny flinty pieces, which is unusual. So it's almost like they are the same kind of clay they make bricks out of, or very similar anyway. Another very, this one, the inside looks a bit different. It looks a bit stretched inside, like something was inside. And there's a lot of diagonal lines around the inside. But it's just a plant pot. It's just a flower pot. But I do love finding these. Also, like the pub takeaway flasks. The pub takeaway flasks are another favourite of mine, but I've never found one at Red Robin. It being 1932, Depression years, and probably there's a lot more of the temperance things going around at the time of temperance. I'm not sure, but oddly, I've never found a pub takeaway flask at Red Robin. I've found a couple of beer bottles. It's a bit strange, really. I found quite a few pub takeaway flasks at the Mitcham dump, quite a lot in fact, and I found one in the quarry at Warlingham, Whiteleaf, the chalk quarry, the one that came from Putney, which was a bit strange. You don't know how it got there or where it came from, considering the age. So yeah, strange that flower pots are in fact my favourite find, or like I said, the pub takeaway flasks, because they have all the information you want already on them, and you can do your research, and if the pub or tavern or inn is still there, you can visit it and do. I've done origins videos for something like that for pubs. This is the biggest one. There was one even bigger than this, but it was busted and I left it behind. Well, I always, if they're really bad condition, if it's just broken off in a U like this, I should have kept it, to be honest, because I've realised that I may be able to use them for the Phalaenopsis orchids. I found that a couple of orchids have done well in a partially broken flower pot. We've got one here where I've had a Phalaenopsis orchid. The majority of it is in the pot, and then you've got this broken section, and then all the roots come out the front of the broken section. So you've got a contained area that you can water, yet all the roots from the Phalaenopsis orchid can stick out the front. So to be honest, I probably should have kept the bigger one for that reason. I could have put an orchid in it or something, but I didn't think of it at the time. So there was actually one bigger than this. But that's basically the flower pots, the terracotta flower pots. And oddly enough, they are among the favourite of the finds. I do find them at Mitcham as well, the Mitcham dump, but again, that is another dump that really I don't have the energy for. The only reason I dug the Mitcham dump was because there was already a hole there. This was about 2016, and I was on the tram going past, and then as I was looking out the tram, there was a raised area. There was a raised area alongside Tramlink and a pylon, and I could see when I was looking through the fence there is bits of glass and pot and all that along there, and I just had a really good feeling. And then another day I went back to find the playing field. You got the playing field there, and there was a path of wood chip leading from the playing field, going through a scrubby area of nettles, hops and blackberry basically. So you had this wood chip path going down, and it ended smack on top of a hole in the ground. And I looked in the hole. I was with Skits at the time, I was with my ex at the time, Kim, and looked into the hole, and there was there was bottles already in the hole. Let's see if I can click something and see if there's any chat. I can't see anything. I can't see anything at all. I've not had anything come up. But the Mitcham dump, the hole was already there, and I started digging that quite a few times, maybe 4 or 5 times, and that was coming up as being 1920s, late 20s, mid 20s, and found some quite interesting stuff there. Like I said, lots of pub takeaway flasks, they were my favourites there. But I haven't been back again because you literally need a team of 2 or 3 men to, you have to clear all that crap away off the surface and then dig, and it's just not worth my energy. I don't have the energy for something like this. By rights, I am a very shallow digger. I only either pick the surface, I'm just under the surface, or I'll go down, as with Red Robin, about 3 or 4 foot max. So not really been to Mitcham for some years because it's just not really accessible. Right, these are very common as well, and this is a big one. You will always find these FMF underneath. It's another marmalade jar, Grand Medal of Merit, Vienna 1873, James Keeler and Sons, Dundee, marmalade only prize medal for marmalade, London 1862. These things, these marmalade jars, these Keelers, they go through the dumps for decades. You'd find these in an 1890s dump, and this is 1930. You'd find them for decades in age, with maybe different marking underneath. Morling is another one that I've seen. This is FMF, but these would make the colour of this one especially a white glaze, with a grey blotchiness, and not only that, grey spots all over. And I think out of all of the ones that I've found, I think the glaze on this is the best. And it's only a 1930s one. There's tiny little grey spots all over it, and even inside it's all tiny grey spots, and it must have already been like it when they glazed it. There's some, maybe is it zinc glazed, maybe they may be zinc glazed, I'm not sure. This is a big one, and something like this would, I mean, easily go on show, but it would make a great holder for pens, or even in the kitchen for holding cutlery. You could use this for anything. And I've just made, as far as videos are concerned, well, this is going to go up first because there's a live video. I've just finished making crab apple and grape jelly, and at the end I ended up filling jars very similar to this, smaller jars similar to this, not a Keeler, but the William P. Hartley ones. I filled some jars with my crab apple and grape jelly. So it's mint, they're quite mint in condition. So why not display it? Why not reuse it? Use it for pens or cutlery, or to put stuff in, even your marbles, anything. But I mean, reuse it for jam. Find a grease-proof cover and an elastic band. Just use it again. Why not? But this is a very nice, big example, and I love the colouring on it. I love all the little grey spots that it has on it. Sadly, I don't know if there's any people chatting. There doesn't seem to have been anything come up, and I can't see anything on the screen to be able to bring it up. But that's the marmalade. Probably one of the... Oi, oi, somebody is here. Something finally popped up. Somebody said oi, oi, I think. I don't think it was someone that is a follower, but flashed up. There is someone there, and there is comments. Oh, but I didn't quite catch who it was. This was the same day, and it's pretty much the same size, or if anything bigger. Plain underneath, it's rather stained up. It needs rust killer, to be honest. I need to put HG rust killer on it, and get a metal scourer, and that will come up perfect. I mean, this was found in a 1932 dump, but I mean, it could be circa that time, or it could even be earlier, but this is even bigger than the last one. Look at that, it's as big as my hand. And this would be ideal for putting your stuff in on the shelf, literally. But you can even see the size difference there. That is massive compared to even the Keeler. Again, none of these items are really anything special. We have two more glazed jars, probably zinc glazed, very simple. One of them is FMF Golden Shred brand, so that was basically marmalade, which is an orange jam. The British eat their orange marmalade jam and we have Paddington Bear to tell us all about it. And another one very similar, but it doesn't have anything underneath. So again, just more jars. They're smaller jam pots. I mean, this is definitely a golden shred for marmalade, orange marmalade. But this one, very similar shape. It's got nothing underneath. It could very well be the same thing, marmalade or jam. Mecatee's in the room, just sitting there. But yes, not really anything. It's a bit rougher in appearance. You can tell under the glaze that it's a little bit rougher. It's not so smooth, and underneath it's not quite so smooth. And this is just a bigger version, basically. Again, golden shred brand, probably only be used for storage, or maybe putting jam in. I've already done something like that, or maybe I won't even keep them. I might give them away, but then they're not worth anything. You'll struggle to get £2 for something like this. Give it to a charity shop. Who's going to want it? Oh dear, there's a tiny chip on there, but that's just a bigger version, golden shred, which is basically marmalade, orange marmalade, golden shred brand. So there's enough of these. Right. Something else that really isn't very valuable at all, even though they're really quite attractive, they're quite pretty. If you get one in mint condition, it will go in a display cabinet, go on a windowsill. It looks fantastic, but they're just not sought after, and that is the fish and meat paste jars. Molded, they're molded glass, basically, meat and fish paste jars, and they come in all kinds of shapes and designs. They're really quite nice, but who wants them? Nobody wants them. I mean, I'd like to have one of each, just for that sake, you know, because they're so different. And this one actually is a PEX, so it could well be anchovy paste, but it's different to the ones that I've found before. It's very different. Normally they're smaller and much more textured, like a square shape on the PEX, but this one, it has seemingly an older 1920s shape. It could even be older. It might have been something that was on the shelf and they took 10 years to throw it out, or it may just be that it's the same age but it contains something different. It wasn't just anchovy paste, there was something else as well, and the label would have gone on the front. Maybe it was shrimp, I don't know, it could be. There's an oval place where the label would have gone, and it's PEX. Underneath, registered number, it's just a registered number, 687205, registered number. That's all it is. But I love them, and if they're clean enough, they look amazing, they really do. But people don't really desire them, sadly. Here's Mechatee. Oh, yes, here's Puddy Tat. Yeah. She does know how to purr, but tuxedos, female tuxedos, you very rarely hear it. They're very quiet purrs. She is purring, but it's almost, you can't hear it or feel it. But this is Mecca. This is the rescue girl from last September. Yeah, she's a lovely girl. She had 4 kittens, so that was nice for me to finally see some life and not death for once. Oh, it was definitely an experience. Mecca and her kittens, and she doesn't mind being picked up. I've literally had her in my arms for about 20 minutes or more. And she likes to follow me around. She's more friendly when Fermium's not here, which is a bit, I don't know. She'd probably be happier with just me on her own. She's not clingy though. She's not, I'm going to lay on your legs and snuggle up. She's not that kind of cat at the moment. But as you can see, she doesn't mind being picked up. Very, very quiet purr. Yeah. I could probably hold her for 20 minutes, but I'm not going to. Oh, putty tat. Yeah, there's Mecca. Oh, putty. Oh. Right, what else have we got? Again, nothing special here, to be honest. I wish there was a cod bottle or a Hamilton or a jug or anything like that, but just not. It's not going to happen. Oh dear. One unusual find. Now I found quite a few pieces. I've never found anything like this before in the digs. Glass, but it's not just any normal glass. It's actually a very old piece of reinforced glass. The front is smooth, the back is textured. You could probably still see through it, but it is rough. Not rough, it's sort of is textured. And it's actually reinforced glass. Looking at the edge of it, you can see tiny little bits of rust where the wire comes out. But otherwise than that, it's perfect condition. And trapped inside, just like the day it was made, you can see the wire and the colour of the wire, dark grey gunmetal wire sealed in permanently, literally. It just looks like chicken wire that's been sandwiched in glass. Basically, you look at chicken wire, and that's what this is. It's chicken wire sandwiched in glass, and this is early reinforced glass. Now, this is probably 1920s. I'm guessing this is 1920s. Fancy making partial stained glass window out of that. The front is shiny. The reverse is actually textured, but this is not. When you look at reinforced glass now, it's very square. It's not like chicken wire like this. So did this come from like a local factory style building? But that is literally reinforced glass. Crazy, isn't it? Oh. Never found anything like this. Was the biggest piece. I found more, and I think what it was, there was one square section like this, and it was thrown out, and it got all smashed up, and this was the biggest piece, basically, just reinforced glass. But the fact that you can still see the wire in it as clean as when it was made, it's just insane. Oh, again, another item that I've found, but may not even keep, I don't know. is basically a ceramic. This is ceramic, and it's basically a light switch. There would have been a cover on it, all the metal was inside, and the wires, and this would originally have been a light switch, and it's got Vitreous and trademark, and under trademark it looks like an eagle, and other stamps or embossings, but this is actually a very early primitive wall switch, probably for a light. And I've found these before, and you can even see the remains of one of the terminals there, the rusty remains of one of the terminals. There would have been one here as well, and the back. I've got a few of these in the gaff, not many. They do occasionally come up, but these being ceramic, very similar to what they make the railway live rail dollies out of. They would be made of ceramic as well. And it's very, very tough stuff. Very tough stuff. Very hard. If it won't be time me if I decided to throw this at a car window. Bang! There won't be much left of that car window, or a blown window that was dumped in the street, something like that, at the side of the road. If I threw this at it, ceramic is very tough, very hard and dense. And I've found a few of these before, not too many, but I've found a few. I've found black ones and white ones. Oh. Again, another bottle that isn't particularly interesting, but nice finds. Hi, DJ. Hey, we Dave Glasgow. So some things are popping up. I am catching them just about. So we've got Old Mummy of Hamsters, and someone that did ask me a question earlier about my computer. Quality stuff. Nifty Heads. Oh, GK Nifty Heads in the house. One of the biggest graffiti writers in the city. Oh, yeah. As you can see, I've got a knees canvas behind me. Oh, as I said, not particularly interesting, but these bottles were a favourite to everybody. They contain Bovril and V's going from the 1880s right through all the decades and decades. You could literally date a tip to just Bovril jars. This top is early 30s, but you could literally go back and back and back, and you could find a Bovril and you could date a tip with it. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Well, thanks for joining us, Mummy of Hamsters, Nifty Heads, and Glasgow. There might be someone else up there as well. I'm not entirely sure who. Oh my! I have some pictures of some cool graffiti to send you. Oh, very nice. Yeah, and these come in various sizes as well. They go from ½ ounce, the tiniest little sample, to 16 ounce. But these are basically, I'll call these indicators. Bovrils are basically indicators, because you can tell the date of a tip just by looking at Bovrils. Also, another one, don't particularly tend to find these too much, although they are a very well-known brand. Oxo, OXO, Oxo. And this one, there is actually a bit of fine bubbling. It's machine made, obviously. It's in 2 parts. It's amber. There's a few bubbles in there. It's 1 ounce, but Oxo, which is also like a beef type stock, but it's a lovely amber colour, and oddly enough I don't find so many of these, and then I do find the Bovrils. I found bigger ones, but normally they're a darker brown. This is a really nice amber brown colour, and I think this is the first smaller one that I've found actually. So yeah, that's a nice little ditty, that. I've been enjoying your mudlarking videos. The bottle digging ones, yeah, mudlarking will be the river ones. I don't really know if I've got the eyes and the concentration for mudlarking, but the bottle digging, yeah, I've tried to do it again. And that's what this is. Basically, I'm doing a roundup. I'm doing a roundup for the digs for the ones I found on the first dig at Red Robin, which was basically the collapsed tree. I had that collapsed tree, and the root ball left the hole in the ground, and I decided, oh, sod that, I'm just going to do it here because all the work has been done for me. I don't need to do any digging to get through the topsoil because it's still on the tree roots. So I done that first dig where the upturned tree root ball was, a big poplar, I think. Very strange really, because the tree, the more I dug, I'd done both sides. For some reason they'd avoided a circle area. They hadn't tipped in a circle area. Maybe it's because that poplar tree was there when it was young in the early 30s, and they didn't want to affect the tree. They dug tips around the tree. Doesn't really, I don't know, it's very strange. Never had that before. Right, this was also in one of the videos, and this is a complete, apart from it's missing the lid. It would have had a zinc lid, and this is a canning jar. So grandma or great grandma may have used these years ago, and it's the kilner jar, and believe it or not, this is the first complete kilner jar I've ever found. It's crazy, isn't it? It's the first one. Normally I always find them busted, but it was in one of the videos, upside down literally, and I managed to find the lid nearby. But again, the kilner jar, this is the first one I've found complete with the rubber gasket and the lid. So we've got the original rubber gasket there, and we've got the original lid. All that's missing is the actual cap, the zinc cap on the top. You still would have seen the middle section here. The zinc cap only went round the edge and around the screw top. But pickled onions, anyone? Olives? Anything that grandma made and canned and had in the cupboard, basically. And it's literally the first one I found complete. And I've found these before. And I've literally filled them with marbles. Yes, I found my marbles. We often have stories of people losing their marbles, but I found all mine. And I'll put them in jars. So I've got a couple of jars full of marbles. And where did I find those marbles? In graffiti paint tins, mate. In graffiti paint tins. Basically, all the spent tins that you have, certain ones will have glass marbles in. Not all of them. Some of them will have metal bearings, but when they're completely empty mainly empty. I've got a bill hook, a Staffordshire bill hook or bill hook, and there's literally me in the garden just going busting these tins, squeezing it a bit and shaking the marbles out, the glass marbles. And of course they come out in different colours, so because you got the paint on the marble, so I've got a jar full of marbles with graffiti colour paints, like the Illuminati, Iron Lac, there's Tetrasil, there's various ones that will have marbles in, but a Montana Gold or a Montana White, they won't have anything like that. Or black. Particular paintings will have marbles in, but some would just have metal bearings. And I do have more bags full of tins that I need to bust open to get the marbles. Well, I thought I did anyway, but I just haven't got round to it. And I normally fill these jars with paint colour marbles. But it was good to find a complete kilner for once. It really was. There goes my elbow. Right. Something else that is very common is milk glass. Milk glass, basically cold cream pots. The most common one is called ponds. These are not ponds. These are completely different, but that is the most common one. And they're always nice to find, but if you can find different ones, even better. This one is octagonal. You can see it's octagonal milk glass. Naturally, they're all screw top, and they would have had something like cold cream in it, lanolin for the hands or something. It's just a symbol underneath. There's no writing, it's a symbol. But this one is actually rounded with octagonal. And this one was new. I've never found one of these before. And this one actually has more of a swirl on it. Vicks Vapor Rub. The Vicks ones, they are actually very similar to the modern plastic ones, only they're glass. And they're blue. They're still blue glass. I've found a couple of Vicks Vapor Rub ones, the blue ones from the 30s at Red Robin. Don't normally keep them though, because the glass isn't really good enough. But you can see that there's a good wavy shape on there. It's a lovely shape, even though it's screw top. And it's the first one I found in that style as well. So that was a good score, that. Almost sat on the cat. Oh, what are you doing, Mekety? You're trying to get sat on, eh? The cat's trying to get sat on. Oh dear. So yeah, milk glass, very nice. Yeah, very nice. I'm just dumping them on the floor, really. We're still going. We have got another selection of bottles, and that was actually from day 3. I basically merged day 2 and day 1 together, but I didn't really do any video of the second day. The second day was the same as the first, the root ball, and brain fart. Oh my. Oh, we've got a very, very basic bottle here. Violet water. Sometimes you will find a bottle of great grandma's violet water, and sometimes even after they've been underground since 1932, you'll dig it up, you still got the cork or something, or there's some rust on the top, you pop the rust and you can still smell it. It's literally violet water bottle. rosewater, something like that. It's not very interesting, to be honest, but it's Art Deco era, but it's not really showing any exciting shapes. It's just square, but it's definitely violet water. Who even uses that stuff now? Even lavender. We have a small brown household bottle, and it still has the cork in. Poison bottles, not in this live. In the next one, there might be a couple of poison bottles, which is quite good. I found a couple more poisons, but this is a brown household, and it still has the cork in it. There's a bit of moisture in the bottle, so it's actually stopped the cork from shrinking at the bottom. So it's only small, very small, but I do like the little brown household chemical bottles, and I have used these again a couple of times. I've got a big one, a very big one, and I put white spirit in it. It's in the gaff in the cupboard. I've actually put white spirit in it. Underneath we have PD & Co, and I think that is an American company, bottle making company, Park Davis & Co. I'm assuming it's the same. I found that out by watching Tom Askjum on YouTube. He does a lot of American privies. He's currently in North Dakota doing digs, but PD & Co apparently is Park Davis & Co, so maybe there was some American bottles coming over to the UK. I wouldn't be at all surprised, but it was a household bottle. I don't know what was in it, and you get a variety of different sizes. Is there another one? I'm not sure. I've got a bigger one. I thought I had a bigger one from the later dig, but I don't seem to have it. We did have a flash of blue in the first dig, and yes, it's a mum, a milk of magnesia, but it's the basic one. It's not the one with the whole caboodle on the top. You get different varieties. The majority of the time, 2/3 of the time at Red Robin, when you find a milk of magnesia, it's going to be just a basic one, screw top and basic, even though it's early 30s. A6 K363, the ones with the whole caboodle have everything on it. They literally have all the embossing about where it comes from, and the milk of magnesia, and it has all the embossing, and it comes from Connecticut, I think it is. But this is a flash of blue. You find the bottom, you get all excited. Oh, it's a milk of magnesia, but at the same time you're wondering, is it going to be the one that's got everything on it, all the information? And 2/3 of the time, no, it's just the basic one. So even though it's a really nice colour, yeah, blue and purple glass. Purple ones are the ones that the glass had magnesium in it. I think the older ones, yeah, and they either have them in the sun irradiating, or they actually artificially irradiate the bottles to make them lavender or purple colour. But the blue ones, yeah, and that's Phillips milk of magnesia, obviously, and I think it comes from Connecticut or something. So that is just a basic milk of magnesia. But I have actually sold some of these. I've sold some of these, and I've given them away. There was a shop in South Norwood, Monet Gallery, and when the shop first opened, I was actually selling a few bottles in Monet Gallery. So I got a little bit of money out of a shop selling some bottles. But if they're clean enough and you can polish them up enough, these look lovely on the windowsill in the bathroom. These milk of magnesia is lovely blue colour. Right, what else have we got? We've got two more here. They're very common. Quite unique though. Of course, they're early 30s. We have what is called Eiffel Tower lemonade. Now you'd have lemonade crystals. Now this bottle actually had light up like stained glass windows. Exactly. This is what you call a lemonade crystal bottle, and it's called Eiffel Tower lemonade, and it's from Foster Clark Limited, Maidstone. And I found a lot of these in the past, normally 1930s. Even at Red Robin, they are mildly variant in the tip. And I found a lot of these at Kent Gateway. Remember, I'd done videos some years back. I went to Kent Gateway between Addington Village, Kent Gateway, and Coney Hall, right in the middle, near the water pumping stations. Someone was doing work in their garden, and they threw out a load of soil, and there was a load of Eiffel Tower lemonades that they'd thrown out onto the surface. And they were from the 20s. These are 1930s, but the very early ones, I don't know about Eiffel Tower lemonade, but you get Eiffel Tower fruit juices as well, and maybe they were crystals too. But the very early ones do actually have the Eiffel Tower embossed on them, not the modern ones. And to this day, I still don't think I've got an Eiffel Tower fruit juices. But then they come out the Victorian dumps, the late 1800s. I still don't have an Eiffel Tower fruit juices. I only have the lemonade ones. Eiffel Tower lemonade, and it's Foster Clark Maidstone. They come from Maidstone. But the older the bottle, the better they are, because they're so much rougher in appearance in the mould, and maybe blowing the mould, turn mould, anything like that. And the bubbles, you can tell with the older bottles that they're just so much nicer to look at. The modern ones are okay, but they're just too clinical looking. They're too smooth, and although the newer ones often have better embossing, some of the older ones don't actually have such strong embossing, which is a bit strange. These are always very nice to find at Red Robin or any dump. I'm pretty sure I found them at Mitcham as well. This is a screw top as well, and this is one for the ladies basically. And I'm pretty sure that we see these in the US too. And it's called Heinz Honey and Almond Cream. Heinz Honey and Almond Cream, and always got a lovely shape, them strong shoulders, and the embossing is always very nice, protrudes very nicely. And these bottles, when they come out the ground, often they have a little bit of a rainbow look to them. They tend to get affected underground, and they have a very slight rainbow look to them. So you've got some yellow on there, some pink, and some green. You probably won't be able to see it, but I don't know. I mean, it could just be the light from the camera, but these are always nice. Heinz Honey and Almond Cream, and it was actually a hand lotion for the ladies. I do like finding them. Very nice bottle. And underneath again, it's got a bit of that rainbow colour affected by what's in the ground. A.S. Heinz Limited, Hinds, Heinz. honey and almond cream. I do like them. Oh dear. We're slowly running out of bottles. We've got this big one here. I haven't been able to clean it out properly. To be honest, it's not really easy to find the bottle brushes to clean these things. I mean, I could try a bit harder going into shops, but a lot of the bottles don't really have an opening wide enough to even get a bottle brush in. It's actually really sad. And when they're this shape, this size and this shape, it won't even reach the bottom. I mean, I could soak that and soak that and soak that and hope that all that shifts at the bottom, but I don't think it will. But this is massive. This was a big one. It's the first one I've found. And it is P&J Arnold Limited. P.J. Arnold. Again, UGB, United Glass Bottles. But look at the size of this thing. And I looked it up. And this is in fact a bulk ink bottle. This contained ink. Whiskey. Oh, I wish it was whiskey. Yeah, I don't think I'll get a loofah in there somehow. I have got bottle brushes, but it's very hard to get into the bottom corners and put enough pressure on them to get all that out. But yes, this is actually a bulk ink. Yes, it is a lot of ink, and I'm thinking, what kind of place would have that much ink? And I'm thinking, well, a school. Maybe it came from a local school, and back in the old days, you had the traditional desks, and they were wooden, and you'd literally have your own desk, and you'd lift it up, and all your books and all your pens and everything would be. It's like a ledger desk, almost like a ledger desk. And that's what these old style school desks were like. And then each one would have its own miniature inkwell. Accounting court system, maybe, who knows. But I'm thinking maybe this came from a nearby school. There's so much ink here. Or maybe even an office. It may have been an office or a factory. It could even have been a factory in the early 30s. But J.P. Arnold, or P.J. Arnold, sorry, massive bottle. Machine made, is 2-part. The joint goes right from the very top to the bottom, so it's a 2-part. Machine made. But what a massive bottle that is. That's a bulk ink. Just wish I could clean it properly. Ah, that's not going to be easy. Right, this was in one of the videos as well of 10 years of Red Robin. And it's actually, it turned out to be a sauce bottle of some description. I don't think I've had one of these before. And it's S. Dodman and Sons London SE. Dodman and Sons London SE. Now I'm not sure about the suffix at SE, Southeast. I know it's London Southeast. But is this bottle older than I think it is? I'm not sure. The top is ground and polished. You get ground top. Sometimes you can still feel the texture, but this one is polished as well. So ground and polished. There would have been a cork in the top, and I think they call that a ball neck. A ball neck, I'm not sure. That if that was plain, I have found plain ones before, and I've actually painted them up to look like houses. I've had Uni Posca pens and literally done a door here and painted it up, and a chimney and a window at the back. I've actually made them to look up like houses. But this is S. Dodman and Sons London SE, and I looked up online. I found the same brand, but I couldn't see one in this shape, which is a bit strange. But it's undoubtedly some sort of sauce or chutney. I'm not entirely sure, but it's the first one of these that I've found. If I can, oh, it's going to be hard to really see any detail on there. But it's S. Dodman and Sons, and that ring around the neck, and the opening has been ground down and polished. And that's a panel there, and the label would have been on the back. There would have been a paper label on the back, so this is a sauce bottle of some description. But it's actually, I was surprised how heavy this was when I dug it up. It's very thick and very heavy glass. That's why I'm thinking, is it older than the earlier 30s? It could be 1920s. No, it's not apothecary. It's a food sauce bottle. It's a sauce bottle. But that was a new one for me. That was a first. I've not found one of them before. And sometimes it's like that. You may find something new at the bottle dump. Right. We are actually down to 2 bottles now. We're almost at the end. We got this one and another one. This one wasn't shown in a video at the time, short video, but it turned out to be one of the nicest actually. As it is, it just looks like a lady's leg. Maybe not a beer or a gin, but I think what this probably was, possibly a mineral water, but I don't think so. I think this was a tonic bottle. This is likely a tonic bottle. And underneath, very unusual markings underneath. We have a spot in the middle, then we have a ring, then we have another ring with a spot on the outside ring, and 2 others. It's weird, it's like a planetary system. A tiny little planetary system on the bottom of a bottle. Crazy. And this is, it's machine made, but it looks like it's been turned in the mold, which is unusual because when it was hot in the mold, it seems to have been spun, and you can already see when I turn it that it's not smooth, it's not even, it's a bit wobbly. The whittling, it's got a lovely whittled texture to it. You can see the light catching the, look at that. And that's just because the glass is so rough. There's no bubbles. There's no bubbles, but the texture on the glass is just absolutely lovely. Look at that. Look at that. And this is probably what, early 30s, maybe slightly older. Maybe slightly older. But what a beautiful colour. lovely olive green colour, and the glass is just so whittled. Again, there's a bit of mess in the bottom there that I've not been able to remove, and the top is what they call lady's leg. It's machine made. That's triangular, so it's definitely 1930s, but I'm surprised that it looks that attractive. Lovely, lovely whittling on it. I wouldn't say olive oil. I'm thinking more likely a tonic wine. That's my guess. Can we see the markings? Yes. We just about see the markings. Like a little planetary system underneath. Very unusual. Not seen that before. Of course, there's no label. There's no embossing, so I can't tell what the contents were or by who. But I'm guessing this is a tonic water. No, tonic wine. Sorry, a tonic wine. I mean, it could be water, but I'm saying it's a. Bearing in mind it's a lady's leg, like a wine bottle, I'd say it was a tonic wine. But lovely. That's really nice. I only found the one, but. And now we are down to the last one, which was again at the end of one of the videos. Oh, had a bit of a disaster there. Oh dear. Had a bit of a collapse in the bedroom, well, the box room. Oh dear. The record's gone down the back. There goes orchestral manoeuvres in the dark. Don't break stuff. Oh dear. Oh. No, I even lost my industrial hemp. We'll try again, shall we? Oh dear. Right. The last one was in one of the in the last at the end of one of the videos I've done at the time, and it was a milk bottle, and I cleaned it up properly. Looking at the base, there is a crack in it. There is a crack in it. It's providing I don't put any hot water in it and then cool it down again, should be all right. Normally I find these and they're always smashed or broken. You might find an SSCS bottle complete or United Dairies, but you very rarely find local milk bottles complete. Where is everything? Oh. Yeah, make sure I know where that is. And this is the first one that I found complete, local milk. I did find another one, but for Red Robin, and it came from Putney Bridge. And going, why is a Putney milk bottle doing it Red Robin? But this one, I've cleaned it up, and it come up really nice. And yeah, I could see that there was a crack in the bottom, but it was filthy inside. It was literally filthy inside. It took a bit of cleaning, but because the mouth is so wide, it was a lot easier to clean. Just a little bit of soap and chemical, and it cleaned up nice. But the wide mouth always helps to clean it properly. Bottles with smaller openings are very hard to clean. OB, it's got OB on it. OB. Underneath, just R or registered 291. I'm not entirely sure if that's R for registered. Again, the OB on the base. OB. And this milk is a full pint, and it's got Overton Brothers, Beckenham, so it's actually a local milk. And phone Beckenham 0303. So this comes from a time when telegrams were going out and basic telephones were coming in, and I think at one point telephones may only have been in shops or maybe even Lions tea shops, but eventually the telephone was spread out into homes as well. But it's got phone at Beckenham 0303, so we're already up to 303 people or companies with telephones. Probably companies rather than actual homes. Overton Brothers. There is actually a bit of a blister as well. There's a bit of a blister in the glass, as well as a crack in the bottom there. You can see a crack. But this was an amazing find because I've never found one complete before. Wide mouth, full pint milk bottle, embossed. Local Overton Brothers, Beckenham. Look at that. And you've got and the phone number on there as well. Phone Beckenham 0303. Overton Brothers, Beckenham. I've even found bottles at Red Robin from Sydenham, a company in Sydenham. But I found about 3 of them and they've always been smashed. I think it also depends on the actual type of glass they're made from, and sometimes the glass just doesn't really hold underground, or the pressure's underground. Not really sure, but the Sydenham ones, I've never found a complete one. This is the first local Beckenham one I've found. Milk bottles, Dixie brand. Yeah. So that was again one of the best finds. That full pint milk. Lovely. And that is all of the bottles. We now have an empty wash basin plus all the stuff that was actually outside. There is more here from the day 3 dig, and I'll do that another time. So you've got something else to look forward to. And again, there's some very interesting stuff here, but overall they're all smaller bottles. They're all smaller ones. There's definitely some interesting stuff that reminds me I've got to bring my UV light. I did put up pictures in the community tab of this particular one because it was actually uranium glass, so that one's in there. So I've got to remember to bring my UV light with me to the old flat. So there's more bottles here, plus ones that haven't been shown. But they're mainly smaller bottles in the next batch. These were mixed and big jars. There's only one jar here. We've even got a plate, so the variety's a bit different in the next live that I do. More items, possibly, but smaller. And like I said, there's a couple of poisons in there too. So that is pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Plant pots, marmalade, milk, bulk ink. We've got the likely tonic wine. Superity bottle from right at the beginning. I found it on the surface, a Superity bottle. The Kilner jar. I did like finding that Kilner jar. That was very nice. Very nice. Another big jar. Heinz honey and almond cream. They're always very nice, them. Eiffel Tower lemonade. The MOM, milk of magnesia, mommy of hamsters. Mom, oh, milk of magnesia of hamsters. Oh boy. This one's actually taken a bit of a dive, so we've got 3. And we've got the cold cream. Plain, unfortunately. Meat paste, or fish paste, or prawn, or shrimp, or anything like that. Milk glass. We've got the milk glasses. That curvy one. That's a very nice score. They're both nice, but I do like this one. It's the first time I've found one that shape. The Mecca is still here, and that is about it. The Dodman sauce. Two furniture polishes. I'm pretty sure they're furniture polishes, to be honest. Furniture polishes. And put this mould paste in there. Indicator Bovril, sorry, which pretty much tells you that the dump is early 30s by the style. An OXO stock or beef stock. Small PD & Co. Household. Grinding wheel fragment, which is good because it means that I can sharpen my I can start sharpening my tools again now. Oh, I was hoping I'd find something like this. Ceramic electric wall fitting, and violet water, and that is it. And the reinforced glass fragment, and that is about it, I think. Unless somebody wants to ask a few questions, I'm probably gonna end it because I've done all the finds for day 1. So I'm glad I finally managed to declare them all cleaned up. And of course, if you want to see a particular bottle, jar, or item, whatever, no, it's fine. It's fine. The milk of magnesia mom bottle. Oh my. Yeah. Oh dear. You do get milk and magnesias with much more print on. It's got everything on it. Yeah. Phillips milk and magnesia, and they're from Connecticut, I think it was. But that is about it, I think. I've got to find my record. Hopefully nothing got smashed. No, I think we're good. Two different sizes of OMD made of Orleans, and that is a LP size at 45 speed. And again, we've got OMD made of Orleans, but a single 45 speed. So I've got two different ones. Many thanks to Oliver Sudden at 3P Suite in Croydon under Riff Raff's bar. For I bought the album size one, and he gave me the single for free. Oh. Unfortunately, my industrial hemp hit the floor as well. Oh. So I've got my hemp has been drying for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, and I have put some in the herbal tea. I've actually made up some tea in the kitchen. I've got to add some water to it now after I do the live. I'm going to have a nice herbal tea, and then what I'll keep doing, I'll just keep topping it up with water, and I've got a little bit of this industrial hemp inside it, so it's going to be higher in the CBD content rather than the other one. I'm hoping that I'll be able to, I've got a few seeds out of it, there might be some more seeds in there, and I'll hope to grow some more of that next year in the Gardenelle at the Olds flat, because no doubt it should do me some good. It should help me in some way. The CBD and the other that's in it, there won't be any THC in it because it's hemp, but it literally grown outdoors. It had all the spectrum from the sun, even though it was in shade half of the day, but it smells lovely. It really does, like a more of a lemon type green smell. But yeah, I've already got some of that in the mug in the kitchen, so I'm going to make some herbal tea, honey, lemon, mint, and feverfew, and some other black tea with red bush. I've got red bush tea as well, so I've mixed it all in. But this time of year we're running out of the herbs, to be honest. the herbs are a bit lacking now, apart from maybe the mint and the feverfew. But yeah, I'm gonna take a rest now, and hopefully I'll do the next bottle video within the week. We'll have to see how I go, how I feel, concentration. I'll probably have a shower in a couple of days. I mean, I'm not feeling too bad now. Still a bit sore around the back of the head. My back isn't too bad at the moment. Ears, not too bad, to be honest. But yeah, I hope to do the next the bottle roundup video within a week or so. Probably within the week. I'll have to see what are we up to now. Sunday, so Monday. Try to do it next week sometime. I'll have to see. And I think I'm gonna end it there. Oh, where's the cat? She's still there. Mecca is still there. And that is going to hit the floor again because I want my walking pole. And I think I'm going to end it 1 hour 40. That is about as long as the last one I'd done, I think. Yeah, that seems about the same length as the last video I'd done. And I did actually see some comments. We've had a few people. I think we had a new one, Glasgow, I'm not entirely sure of the name. He did ask me a comment earlier to find out what my gaming operating system was, and basically nothing special. It's just an old iMac, an Intel iMac. I think that was Glasgow, whoever. similar to like motorbikes. We had the Graffiti King's man, one of the biggest graffiti writers in the whole of London, was here briefly. Nifty Heads was here, and it was always great to see Nifty Heads here, who was the agent for Graffiti Kings, various artists and murals and commissions. Great to have Nifty Heads here. And oh Mummy of Hamsters was here as well, may still be here. I think we had about 5 max viewers. I can't tell because it's sort of blocked by the bracket, but I think we may have had 5 or 6 max viewers. We'll have to see at once, but I'm going to end it here now. Not feeling too bad, and I'll catch you in within the week or less than a week, and I should be doing the yeah, peace out. Peace goes, yeah. I'll catch you later. Yeah, we've got plants here. This is a coleus. Funny enough, that's an unintended plant. I rescued aloe vera. Aloe vera. Someone literally threw an aloe vera in a pot out of a window at the Black Horse, and there was just a smashed mess of a plant pot on the floor and an aloe vera. And I brought it back and I repotted it, and then during the summer this mystery coleus came out of nowhere. And it's a very tall fella. It's at least 3 foot tall, and it's got some little ones coming out the joins. We've got these 3 ferns here as well, blue ferns, and they seem to grow more during the winter. So I'll be watering these ferns more during the winter, to be honest. You can see new growth coming up on these. These featured in the video as well. These were all dumped. There were 4 of them dumped. 3 of these blue ferns and a different one. The other one didn't really survive, I'm afraid. They were left near Morden Road. I think they were bought at Sainsbury's and then they were just left. I don't know why they were left, but they were, and I've had them for over a year now and they're doing well. Although I do wonder if I've got to repot them again. I'll have to see. Maybe I'll just keep watering them and keep an eye on new growth. But I may actually have to repot them again next year. I don't know if I've got any pots big enough to repot them again. But they do like being moist, them plants. They do like a bit of water. Anyway, we're going to end it here, and we'll, if I can manage to stop this thing, we'll catch you on the next live when I go through day 3 bottles, because I didn't do really any video the second day. So day 3 bottles, and it's a little bit different. They're smaller. There's some interesting items there, but again, nothing amazing. But there's some nice little jewels. I call them little jewels. There's some nice little bottles there. A bit different to this selection from the first day. And we're going to end it there. An hour and 50. That's not bad going, really. I think I'm 10 minutes more than I did the last live. Now, can I stop this thing? We shall see. Oh, can I stop it? There doesn't seem to be anything to be able to stop it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just press that cross in the corner there. That should do it. Yeah, you go. Thanks for joining, everyone. Give us a thumb up if you like. It will eventually be uploaded
and you can watch it again, share it, or give us a like. And Mekati is still in the room. Thank you everyone for joining. I think we had about 1 hour 50 minutes, almost 2 hours, and I'll catch you on the next live. Bye for now.